Hey there, my name is Dr. Lily, and I'm so excited for you to come in for your first NET appointment. NET has changed my life, it's changed Dr. E's life, and countless patients' lives. NET stands for Neuro-Emotional Technique. It is a stress-reducing technique to identify stuck trauma, emotions, and stress that the body is holding on to. By identifying it and releasing it, then you're able to accomplish more things in your life, be free of various symptoms, whether physical or mental, emotional, and just feel overall more confident and calm in yourself. In this video, I'm going to go over a few things that you might want to know before you come in for your first NET appointment. Let me tell you a little bit about the background and research of NET. NET was created by a chiropractor and has been very well researched. Every single step of the process of NET is supported and backed by research. One of the big studies that they did on NET involved patients who had previously been diagnosed with cancer. What they had these patients do was go into an fMRI machine, remember when they got their cancer diagnosis, and they looked at what areas of the brain lit up. This is what they saw in the fMRI machine. These areas of the brain lit up, which correspond to the amygdala or the fear center of the brain. And they had them do a few rounds of NET, they put them back in the fMRI machine and had them re-remember getting their cancer diagnosis. The second time they were in the machine, after the NET, those areas of the brain no longer lit up, which showed that the stress and the trauma associated with that experience was no longer present. NET is a powerful modality that can be used for mental, emotional symptoms, physical symptoms, and limiting beliefs that we carry. The entire process is guided by muscle testing. You might have also heard the term applied kinesiology. So the muscle test involves you putting out your arm like this. We'll apply a little bit of pressure to your arm to see if the muscle stays strong or if it goes weak. If it goes weak, that is information to us and helps us guide the treatment. So when you're stressed, you might feel tension in your shoulders, you might get a headache or have digestive problems like diarrhea or nausea. Those are physical manifestations of the stress that you're experiencing, and they are a physiological response to that stress that your body is undergoing. This can happen at a more micro level as well, when we're experiencing a stressor, but we're not consciously aware that we have stress around it. However, the body still goes through that physiological change, and so we can measure if that change is happening by using the muscle test. To start NET, we can either start with a feeling, a body symptom, or a statement. Statements typically are I'm okay statements because okay is a place of neutrality. So even though we don't want something to happen, we're okay even if it does. For example, I'm okay even if I'm $1 million in debt. Nobody wants to be $1 million in debt, but we can reduce the stress if that were to happen. Alternatively, we can use I'm okay statements towards something that we desire but maybe have resistance to. For example, I'm okay even if I have $1 million. Sometimes our nervous system or our subconscious doesn't believe we're worthy of it. It doesn't feel we're safe of whatever it is that we desire. And so it blocks us from attracting that thing in or taking the steps to actually achieve whatever it is that we desire. This might also show up as even if we get something we desire, we don't feel worthy of it, we don't know what to do with it, our nervous system doesn't feel safe, and so we reject it, we self-sabotage. This is why a lot of people who have won the lottery end up being broke because their nervous system wasn't ready to handle that much money at one time. What's great about NET is it doesn't require you to say anything. We could do the whole process without you speaking, and it would work just as well. It is helpful. We do tend to use words, but we don't require you to talk extensively about your past or traumatic experiences. This makes NET a great option for somebody who is a little bit uncomfortable with vulnerability, or maybe there's something that comes up and you don't even know how to put it into words. Maybe there's a person who comes up, you can't remember their name, but you remember who they were. In those instances, or if you decide that you don't want to say it out loud, you can just get the feeling, and NET works just as well. Therapists have even described NET as 10 years of therapy in one session. If there's anything in your past that you're worried about coming up or you're not sure if you're ready to let go of it, You don't have to worry because your body never lets go of anything that it's not ready to let go of. Because humans are like onions, we have many layers to us. Sometimes we have to uncover some of those outer layers before we get to the deeper layers and shed some of those more intense or impactful experiences in our life. For myself, I was given up for adoption, and nothing surrounding my adoption came up until about 6 months of doing NET consistently. So a few frequently asked questions about NET. Does NET require vulnerability? NET can inherently be a little bit vulnerable, but like I said, if there's anything that you don't want to verbalize, you don't have to, so it technically doesn't require that much vulnerability. Another question that comes up is, will I have to talk about the past? Very different from talk therapy. There is not a lot of talking about the past. There might be a little bit, especially if you want to share some and put the pieces together, but it's not required. There's a little bit of puzzle piecing that sometimes has to come up and evolve in the process, but it's typically not too difficult. You know the answer, your body knows the answer, and even if you can't put it into words, you can just get the feeling. Another really common question is, will I cry? Well, we as practitioners can't tell if you're going to cry. Some people do, some people don't. I would say more people don't cry than do cry, but tears are normal here. They're okay. They're actually a really good sign that your body is purging and letting go of things that it's been holding on to. I've had many sessions where I didn't cry at all, but I have cried before in 1 or 2 sessions. We as practitioners are used to it, so there's no shame in crying. What will I feel? That's a very common question that we get asked. Most patients do feel some sort of immediate change after each round of NET. Now, I don't want to put words in your mouth or give you certain specific expectations because I want you to have your own experience. However, most people do come out of NET feeling better. How long does it take to resolve concerns or symptoms? I can't tell you exactly. It depends on the person, it depends on what we're working on. Some things can be resolved in as quickly as a few minutes, other things may take more time. It depends on how many layers there are, it depends on how quickly you process things. There's a lot of factors. But like I said, basically everybody feels better after their first round or first session of NET. Certain traumas or limiting beliefs might take longer to process through if we've held on to them for longer, if they are more prevalent in many different areas of our lives. For example, a very common one is feeling not enough or unworthy. We can definitely take off layers of that, and you can see significant changes in your life and the way that you feel fairly quickly, like within 1 session. But there could be more layers that are tied to that feeling of unworthiness or not enoughness that can still be worked on in future sessions. We tend to see really significant results and improvement within 1 to 3 sessions. So once you're in for NET, what we'll do is we'll start with that feeling, the statement, or the body symptom. We'll figure out if there's a stressor and what the stressor is using the muscle test. So this arm thing, and then we will figure out what meridian and emotion is tied to it, still using the muscle test to guide us. Then we can go back and find the original event where you felt the same way about a similar situation. Once we have that original event, we will have you touch the corresponding meridian or pulse point, put your palm over your forehead. Typically, we'll have you put your elbows on your knees or hunch over if there's a desk in front of you. Usually there's not, in our office at least, but if there is, you can just hunch over like this. It will involve some deep breathing into the emotion until your body feels lighter, the emotion dissipates, or your body relaxes. In some cases, we might have you put your palm over your head like this or over your head like this. We'll guide you in that. But basically, when we have you touch the meridian or pulse point, you'll have your hands one crossed behind the other like this on one hand or the other. We'll guide you on this, but it might be helpful to know what to expect before you come in. NET is an amazingly powerful modality that gets straight to the subconscious and unconscious things that your body is holding on to. That is what makes it so powerful and so efficient. I am so excited for you to get to experience NET for the first time. If you have any further questions, we're happy to answer them in the office. We'll see you soon.